Hey everyone, welcome to episode 13. My name is Ezilii, and we're gonna dive in. Maybe, I think. I don't know. I haven't done it yet. Although I did make this. I was gonna start the episode off with a time lapse, but I don't know if we necessarily need to see a time lapse of highway exit construction. Another thing that I did is this road doesn't go all the way across anymore. I want them to start using highway. Not that the highway is terrible and bad, and this guy is apparently off the beaten path. Cool, I guess. It's probably left over from when I destroyed the road. The road I did curve here, but I think what we're going to do today is we're going to work on getting stuff here. And one of those things would be some industrial properties, but more or less some industrial properties that support the airport. And maybe we'll focus on that and then building in the neighborhoods that would support this middle section of our metropolitan area. So without further ado, thank you for all the likes, the subscribes, and the Patreon support. Let's dive in. So I went ahead and measured this earlier, and it was 17 units. So I need 17 units from whatever this distance is, which I think is 8. 8. See? I remembered. That is not the button. That is also not. That's the button. So 8. Bing. Almost a bing. I think that's it. I don't know if we need anything else. My idea was that we would have probably a couple of hangars here. Maybe it's related to a facility that creates or manufactures airplanes. Because right now, I think, yeah, that's it. That's the only hangar we have in this entire thing. We could maybe do a couple here later, but that's not needed right now either. But what is needed is a few hangars because it looks a little barren. We just kind of built it and let it exist. And yeah, that's about as far as we got. It just kind of exists. I mean, yeah, and then we could have an access road here and then build in some other buildings. I don't want to do hanger. That looks also terrible too, right? Buildings. Should we put it there, or do you think maybe it's too far? I mean, we could fill that space in. I think it's quite okay. However, why do I keep hitting that button? I think maybe these should, touch a bit. Maybe not. I don't know. Could be, or that. Leave it like that. Can you imagine the amount of rain that would land in there? Whew. No wonder why plants are growing. No wonder why the plants are growing. And boop. If you hear the honking, that would be a ambulance. But you probably don't hear it. Someone's in trouble. Hopefully they live. One of the advantages of living near a major thoroughfare is, do I want that blue? It doesn't take long to get medical help, given that I am surrounded by like 5 different fire stations, and each station has ambulances that run out of them. The disadvantage is that I often hear them when they're going, and it often happens during me recording. It's just that I'm not wearing a headset today, and normally I do, and I heard it. Sometimes wearing a headset, I can't hear myself think because it's loud in my head. I don't know if that made any sense. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Moving on. What about that? I would use the brush tool, but it doesn't play nice with these taxiways. There. It looks nice and square. Oh, of course you want water. Every single time. Oh, that used to follow that road. Okay. I'm pretty sure the airport would be very upset if we had to dig up a taxiway or a runway. But they wouldn't necessarily mind digging up the unlandscaped land, I guess. Here, we'll just do that. See, now there's traffic on the highway. Ooh, go us. We did it. Okay, so that's 3. I was thinking about doing some emergency helicopter services. But first, and I also don't want the airport to get ginormous. The expansion is great. I love the DLC. It's awesome. I like it. I enjoy it. But the scale gets very, very thrown off. Do I like this building for being some sort of office facilities for these hangars? I don't know. Sometimes I think that maybe I'm demanding too much from... Oh, well, that actually isn't a bad idea. That's what I would do. IRL. Should they share that wall or should it be split? If I were the architect of said building, I would make it share a wall so you have immediate access, but maybe we don't. Maybe it's something like this. I'm keeping that open so we have this dock connection. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll figure it out. Okay. We're gonna take this building. I think it looks great, and I think it will look better over there, and we'll do something there. We're gonna pretend to ignore the fact that it says data mining. I mean, is it data mining your data, or is it developing the latest and greatest aircraft? Who's to say? Just because there's a sign on the building doesn't mean that that's what the building does. Just saying. Who knows? Who knows what they do? But I think we could maybe do something like that. I just want it to look not necessarily completely random and unique, but I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. I'm in the St. Louis metropolitan area, and there's a Boeing building that this kind of reminds me of. Sort of. Maybe. I mean, kind of. I don't know. Not really. They're nothing alike, but they're similar. It's weird. I don't know how to describe it other than that. I wonder if we bracket this. Go like this. This is where all like the engineering, design, R&D, etc., happens. And then we can have a bank of hangars. Like this might be private aircraft maintenance or something. And then we'll put these hangars this way. If you ever no. If you ever on a layover in St. Louis, which is not as common anymore like it used to be, if you're in the terminal and you look across the airfield, you see those hangars. Now they say Boeing, but growing up they said McDonnell Douglas. They still do the a couple of fighter jets over there. I get the pleasure or unfortunate pleasure of hearing fighter jets take off every once in a while when they're going out for delivery at all times a day. When they make a delivery, they plan their flight for their mid-air refueling at a certain time, so they land at a certain time where they're being delivered for delivery to occur, typically within the business day. But if they're going around the globe, they take off, and then there's in-flight refueling that happens somewhere in their journey, and they take off here to time that stop, which is timed to land for their delivery appointment. It's crazy, I don't know. Sometimes it's a 5 a.m. flight and you hear 3 or 4 take off at the same time, and it's 90 seconds of afterburner. At 5 a.m. Only if they're pointed down at us in a certain direction. If they use a certain particular runway to take off, which obviously they have to use whatever runway they are told to use. But yeah, that's what it's like living near a place that builds aircraft. We're gonna put it. Wow. Maybe we do that. Although I have a sneaky, suspicious feeling this should be pulled a little bit further. I mean, it's one thing to be near the runway, and it's another thing to be near the end of the runway. Yeah, we're getting into that spot where we're gonna have to start working with some height differences. Okay, let's continue. Okie dokie. Let's see. Yeah, their business. I'm thinking this. This is what I think. I took a shower and I had a thought. So shower thoughts, I guess. Let's see. Can I do this? Come here. Do 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 bing. Yes. I don't know if that really helps us, but I'm thinking that if we do this, we could flatten out some of this a little bit more, and then maybe have this up a tier with its parking. So we're not flattening more this way into this. We need to start addressing the elevation. Like, it should just be, why are you like this? Because I told you not to be selected. Ba-ding. Okay, so copying the, wow, oh my. I feel that it should be long enough. Oh, come here. I feel it should be long enough to allow for, I guess, a couple of aircraft. I'm going to say they're building passenger aircraft. I also find it funny that I told it to be on the same level and it was not. And maybe what we do is we turn it sideways. Oh, heavens. Oh, the heavens. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend or a week or however many days it's been since we've convened. I think that looks better. I don't know. Do you think 1 or 2, 4 of these maybe? I got to see some friends I haven't seen in a while on my birthday. That's good. I left the house. I know. Shocker. That was a shock. I've thought about, what do we think about an October 7th stream on that Twitch channel? Leave your thoughts down there in the comments. Okay. I think that's long enough. And then aircraft, man, in real life, the hangars would all have doors towards the tarmac, and you would build them side by side, or we'll have to think about this. So I went ahead and placed these down. They need a road connection, so I would probably flip them around. Now I use these instead of the stock ones, one because I only need the helicopter pad, just the landing zone, whatnot. The rest we could do. In fact, we could argue that it's related to this building, or we just have another building. But I need to get the size. But this is one of each. This is fire, medical, police, and disaster response. I don't know if we need all of it. The second we turn these all on, we're going to have helicopters everywhere. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just medical, fire, and police, I guess? The disaster response will land in the middle of my communities if, for whatever reason, I don't know. It's weird. So does the ambulance. So, I don't know. It'll dispatch an ambulance helicopter. Sometimes it happens right next to the whatever healthcare facility there is. But I also sneak in ambulance bricks, the healthcare bricks, little service blocks in the fire stations. We certainly have private ambulance companies, but we also have our fire departments here, staff ambulances, and we also have like public ambulance districts. Okay, so we probably also have to put in I don't know. We could do this so that way it just looks like, I wish I had one that was in the process of. So if you peek in, you at least see something inside and not like this big gaping hole. What I don't want to do is I don't want to add more buildings. If I find something I want to take out, I'll probably find a hangar with its doors closed. But yeah, those of you that play this and play heavily modded know that there is a limit to what you should download from the workshop, and I'm not at said limit, but I would like to keep the game to function, which, kind of need to in order to record. Okay, so that's done. This probably push this a bit here. This way it doesn't, it's not too close. I felt uneasy. Not that an aircraft, someone who is qualified to fly said aircraft would most likely hit that structure. It's just the once in a million things, right? That's what gets you. Okay, so we need to do some terrain work, which we'll do that right now. So now we have to build a campus. This part I am most likely going to just do a time lapse because it's gonna be a lot of thinking. Okay, let's go. Alrighty, now that we have a mess a brewing, we're gonna make a bigger mess, I guess. That's what I want. But I want that. Give me this. No, give me that. Perfecto, I think. So the idea is that this parking lot is obviously serving the workers in this space. This is obviously serving the workers in this space. This will allow for delivery. There could also be, we could pretend that there's a shuttle. This shuttle probably just loops around. Doot, 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 you know, or you could just walk. Hopefully that is, it could very well be pretty steep for accessibility. Maybe I'll do something a little bit better, but that's the idea. Maybe I'll find something else. Maybe I'll just make it procedural objects. I'm not necessarily a fan of this retaining wall at the moment, but it is working for the intended purpose, is to define space. But every time you do something like this with a retaining wall, you will occasionally start to get frame dips, or where it just hangs up because it's redrawing this ground. You don't see it necessarily, but sometimes when you zoom out and zoom back in, if you start to go over an area where you have a lot of that, see right there, it's this retaining wall. Whatever happens with these guys, that's what's causing it. I could probably do that with procedural objects and avoid that, but then I don't have the nice curve stuff on it as easily, but we'll deal with that. I think that's the first retaining wall in this entire project. I think. Anyway, so my advice, use this as minimal as possible if you're trying to do something really modified. But let's continue. We need to get road from here to here. I haven't decided which direction yet. And then we need to solidify this. And then I have these buildings here at the moment. So usually wherever you have a lot of manufacturing, in this case we have some aircraft, you have machinists, and the machinists create parts or create tools. It all kind of like, it's an economy. It's all connected. I also did add solar panels, and then I procedural objected them, so they do disappear. That's kind of on purpose. If I'm doing a cinematic, I'll be a little closer. If I really need to, I can go in and tell them to be rendered a little further. But I can't imagine what my graphics card, it's a 3070, wants to do. I mean, I'm not really taxing the graphics. It's just, yeah, this is going to cause, I'm already disappointed with it. After avoiding it for this is what, episode 13 episodes, this is the easy way. Yeah, I don't imagine a heavy vehicle making a delivery would really like that slope. Then it might be hard for some security access. It's not that this is top secret like aircraft creation. It's we want to have some semblance of security. Like, this is open. This opens up the airfield, right? We don't need yahoos driving on the airfield. I can't believe I spent so much time making this road and just to delete it, because wow. And I had coffee today. Hopefully you did. Or if you don't drink coffee, you have your other beverage of choice, tea and whatnot. Maybe what we do, maybe the entrance is up here further, and then we can make like security, and then it wraps around, as opposed to this direct. I think I like that. So yeah, let's start. So I started off with this. I wonder, will it? Okay, so we'll do that. I'm just wondering, so if we make the security entrance here, okay, so we're gonna make the security entrance there, and then this is gonna double back. Question is, do I want that road or this road? And more importantly, do I want, hello, give me the road, please. Hello, give me the road, please. Okay, get out of that. Thank you. Jeez Louise, learn to use your tools. I dig that, because then we could even stack these. Security booth, and you have two ways. This could even be that road too. I don't think it's necessary to be painted. This shouldn't be heavily trafficked. It should probably not necessarily need to be painted and whatnot, but this will get us into this parking lot. So let's sort this. These guys want access where that front lawn or yard is, and maybe we'll stagger them. We could even put a couple more, or we could have a helicopter maintenance hangar thingy. Okay, maybe we're gonna do that, but let's change this. Let's change this to this. We don't necessarily need, oh wait, that's one way. We don't necessarily need those streetlights in the middle of where helicopters may be coming in and out of. There's enough for them to try to avoid, and then a strong gust of wind comes in, pushes them off course when they're on approach, and they smack a light pole, which first, the helicopter is expensive. Second, you could have a loss of life. So yeah, I think we could probably put, maybe we'll do small hangars. This? Nope. Decoration? It is decoration. But what we're going to do here is we're going to procedural objects it. So it gets rid of the props. Sometimes it helps if you have the right thing selected. So now that that's the case, let's give it space, because wingspan, even though the aircraft wingspan doesn't necessarily go past the taxiway too much in this game, IRL, they do, kind of. We're going to give it some breathing room. This way, aircraft that are landing here can land. They will predominantly come in from the north, exit the north. If they really have to fly south, they can fly over this airspace as opposed to cutting it close to this edge. You shouldn't have, so you have layers to your airspace, and you shouldn't necessarily, you don't want to go to the end of your runways, because obviously you have other aircraft on approach, but you could fly over. Obviously it's controlled, so most likely if they're dispatched to an emergency, these guys are just flying north, out, and then getting out there, as opposed to worrying about clearance to fly over the airfield. I guess it's got to work very similar. If it doesn't work like that, it works very similar, I think. I don't know. Don't listen to me. It's not my job. I'm just guessing. But playing flight sims, I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So I think what I'm gonna do is these guys, this is hangar, this is for maintenance. Maybe put a very low building that would be their headquarters, their station, if you will. I don't know, it should probably look a little bit prettier than this. We'll have to find one. Well, that turned out to be much larger of a project than I expected. Oh my goodness. So we do kind of have a, maybe this is a finishing touches plant. I don't know. Do they do finishing touches in a different place than build it? You know, maybe it's when they do the painting and installing of the seats, etc., etc., etc. I don't know. I should research this, but the facility is there. People are starting to park. If I would let the game play, they're starting to park there. I did slip in a couple of parks that are invisible to hopefully drive a little bit of parking down there, so people actually park there. But it looks like they're walking. They're walking from the parking garage and parking lot up here down to here. Okay. Hey, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say anything. I did make this ramp originally, so I forget if I even told you this. If I repeat, I apologize, because it's been a day. It's been a day since oh my goodness, what the heck. Well, I guess that plane was done. There was originally a parking lot here where this now current retaining pond is, and I did have like a ramp system so people could park here and get down into the hangars, which are plants, which I put solar panels on top, which is something that I think we should be doing a lot more of, is making use of these rooftop spaces that all they do all day is just collect sun. Even if you're in a climate, a continental climate that has a lot of cloud activity, there's still many portions of the days that the cumulative amount of sunlight that we could capture and use as energy still exists, and we should be investing in it. But that's me on a soapbox. So I added these solar panels. They probably would generate enough to facilitate the operation of this plant. Maybe not. I don't know. Just what do we do with this energy? We got to store it or use it. So I imagine that it's connected up to the grid, and the city forced them to, I don't know. maybe maybe I need to put some power lines in. We'll figure that out. Next steps is develop this part of the town. I don't, to be, this might be, yeah, I think this is going to be part of Elysian, and then we'll get over here to be another community somewhere here. So we're going to do some road layout and place some key buildings, and then call it an episode. That's what we'll do. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I did go ahead and put down a little substation. I turned it into PO, and then I put some power lines here, and we'll figure out where they go after this. But, I mean, the city said, hey, if you're going to do all that stuff to produce energy and whatever extra, we want it dumped into the grid, and I'm sure that there's equipment in here that does that stuff, and I don't know. Let's not get too carried away. Not too carried away. Let's take this off. So we're going to work on what this part of town, kind of how it flows. I want more than that. Maybe I do want this on so I could catch this. Something like this. This could be some community commercial, and then we do our residential off. And then maybe there's commercial that is here because it's near the highway, and then obviously here, and then whatever this community ends up being, there might be commercial there. So this is basically this is probably big box shopping. I was envisioning maybe some smaller, like older buildings here, and I don't know if I'm a fan of this LOD on this thing that all of a sudden started happening. But if I put this here, we're going to say that this was purchased by this business and those buildings don't exist anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not true. Okay, now let's solve the rest of this road layout. So my plan or idea did not work out. The slope is a culprit, but that doesn't mean I'm done. It just means I have to pick different buildings like these guys. I'm okay with the front yard having some challenges. Trust me. No place is without a hill. Every place, even the flat land, has a hill. Don't be fooled. Have you ridden a bike in what is a flat piece of land and then to discover there is a slope? Yeah, it happens all the time. It's just that I cannot. Those are technically buildings. Interesting. You can't. I couldn't reconcile. Whoops, this one's backwards. I couldn't reconcile the height difference between some of these. I'm kind of concerned that this is giving me trouble. Yeah. Well, okay, so it did catch up. It's, I want them to be packed in here like sardines because that's probably what a city would do when growth is explosive. Maybe I have to get rid of these guys. Dang it. Thought time. Okay, so I got rid of that road as much as I wanted that road. It's probably not necessary and is a waste of taxpayers' money, in my opinion. Just my opinion. I was thinking that road would probably connect to these guys, but I'd rather have limited access. Now, I changed how this looks. It's not as packed in because I didn't feel that was really realistic. That literally wall-to-wall houses, which, I mean, I'm sure that exists somewhere, and we have plenty of those examples. These are fairly wall-to-wall, but they have a little bit more space between them, and then the way the windows are facing, they're not in shadow. Well, I mean, they're in shadow, but they're facing forward more or less at an angle, as opposed to this model. These houses are all, if I add it there, you're literally looking into the other room across the way. I think our last step for this neighborhood's going to be some retail here, Maybe there's a strip mall here or something. And then we'll move this way. But we'll do this retail next time. And yeah, that's going to be it for the episode. I'm going to leave you with some cinematics. And until next time, stay awesome, stay amazing. Thank you for all the likes, the subscribes, and the Patreon support. Can't do this without any of you guys. Links are down below. Stay awesome, stay badass.